Hey, Crucible Arms here. Those of you that follow my channel know that I am a huge fan of the Hebrew hammer, otherwise known as the Tavor. It's been in the country now a little over a year. It's a tremendous bullpup. You can see my review of it. I'll annotate it down here so you can go take a look at it. But those of you that do have one or are familiar with the platform know that it's got a, I wouldn't say a typical bullpup trigger. The actual bullpup trigger in this is pretty good for a bullpup. But it's still heavy, very, very heavy. It's over 11 pounds, close to 13 pounds stock out of the box. It is crisp, so it's not bad. You can get used to it. But most of us have been looking for some sort of a drop-in replacement that's going to lighten it up just a little bit and make this platform even more fun to shoot. So Geissele gave us the answer. The Super Sabra drop-in trigger pack is now available. Came out last week, last Friday. And I was able to get one of the early production samples of it. I've not had a chance to shoot it. This will be the very first time, so this won't be an exhaustive review, but I'm going to give you my impressions, having spent over a year shooting this with the stock trigger in it, what I think of it, whether the Geissele trigger is worth the bucks. It's about 350 bucks for it. That includes shipping. It ought to. But we'll fire it a little bit today, just give you an idea of what it feels like, through the camera obviously, but I'll give you my impressions and we'll take it from there. Boy, I'll tell you, it's got a terrific reset. I'm impressed so far. I've only put maybe 2 magazines through it. I did have 1 light primer strike. Now, I have to admit, I've had light primer strikes very rarely, but I've had a couple of them with the OEM trigger as well. So not sure what that's all about. Obviously not an exhaustive test today, but we are going to run a lot of rounds through it. I am going to try different ammo with it, and we'll see if the light primer strike thing clears itself up. I've only had 1 round, but I've only gone through 2 magazines as well. So for those of you not familiar with the Tavor platform, replacing the trigger pack is extraordinarily easy. All you need is a round or anything to push it out, pin, whatever you've got. Push these 2 pins out, bottom pin and the top pin. They're both captured. Get them to lock on the other side. Pull down the release, pops right out, you're good to go. Absolutely couldn't be that much easier. Putting it back in, just as simple. Take the bolt release, open it back up. Get your trigger aligned right. Trying to do this for the camera, sorry. Pop it back in there. Pop your pins back in. Function check. And you're good to go. There have been some reports of problems with the initial production runs. This is one of the very first. And Geissele actually sent me a letter saying that if the trigger, when you go back to reset it, if it interferes with the housing at all, then obviously they want it back and they'll send you out another one. They'll pay the freight both ways, the whole shebang. So, you know, they're doing a nice customer service feature, but boy, you hate to see them come out with something right off the bat that isn't quite right. But my unit has no issues whatsoever. Clicks right back into place. There's no interference whatsoever, so we're good to go. My initial thoughts, very, very impressive. It's a 3.5 pound, I'm going to annotate the actual trigger pull weights, but I know it's got, I believe it's a 2.5 pound initial trigger pull and then a 3 pound. It is a 2-stage trigger. The set point is really nice. It's relatively short. The reset is really nice and crisp, very audible, you can feel it tactily with your finger very easily. It's a huge improvement for a bullpup. I'm really, really impressed so far with the trigger feel. Now, its reliability we're going to have to check on as we move through testing, but tell you what, so far so good. That's how you do that. This is Crucible Arms. Thanks for stopping by.